All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, January 12th, 2021, and of course, we just finished with the Super Wildcard weekend, as they called it, and it was a pretty good weekend. Some pretty crazy games. The Rams ended up winning despite the quarterback situation. We also seen, the Ravens get their first win with Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. The Bills got their first win with young Josh Allen. Baker Mayfield stunned the world with his Browns and upset the Steelers in some kind of in a game nobody probably seen coming except like diehard Brown fans. So this was a really good weekend. The playoffs are off to a hot start. I didn't do so well in my picks. It seems like I went back to my previous 2 years. I only get like 1 or 2 games right on wild card weekends. Much like the Patriots, I'm no good in the wild card. It seems I come to life in the divisional rounds. It seems to be anything related to Patriots Nation I struggle with. So the wild card weekends aren't for me. So whatever about that. Hopefully we do better this week on the pick'em. I think I only got 2 games right. It's downright embarrassing how bad I did. But again, the year before is I only get 1 or 2 games right. But usually I get upsets and whatever. Last year the only game right I got on wild card weekend was like I don't even remember which game it was. It was one. It was not good. This year it wasn't as good, but there were some upsets and some games I didn't see happening, and the only one I'm really embarrassed about missing was I guess the Bills and the Bills and the Colts. But I mean, that was a close game. All the games were close except like one of them. I mean, even the Saints played a close game. The Bears played very well. Well, not very well. If they would have played well, they would have won, but all right, let's get going into the divisional round pick'em. Gonna be interesting. The seeding, obviously, we blacked out the teams that were eliminated. The Colts, Titans, Steelers, Bears, football team, and Seahawks all go home, leaving just the Browns, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks, Saints, and Packers. Ooh, very, very interesting. The same exact seeding, by the way. The same teams were eliminated last week. It's very strange. But let's advance to Saturday, 1/16. We've got some good games right away at 4:35 p.m. Eastern Standard. We have the LA Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Rams are technically 11-5, but they're 11-6 now, or 10-6, but they're 11-5 or 11-6 now with the I added their playoff wins into their totals. The Packers are 13-3 coming off their bye week. The Packers are 6.5. Ooh, excuse me on the burp. Packers are 6.5 point favorites with an over/under of 45.5. And I think that's appropriate. I'm going to go with the fact that it's going to be cold there. The weather is going to be an influence. It's going to be home in Green Bay. There's going to be some fans. I heard they're letting a few people in anyway. It's. I often look at teams that play in typically warm weather in a dome going outside or going to cold weather. This is a warm dome weather team, like a warm dome team. Now they're going outside to the cold, to the elements. That should probably put some clamps on their what is an already limited offense with the quarterback situation. Goff's kind of banged up. They don't really have a good backup. The running game is so. That's pretty much what's going to have to carry this Rams team going forward. And if you're the Green Bay Packers, sure, your rush defense hasn't been the greatest this season, but you can kind of sell out and kind of focus really hard on the run, and knowing that the pass game is going to be limited. Kupp might not play, so you really only have to keep your eye on Woods really hard. The Rams are a loaded team offensively. It's just with Goff being limited, and it's already going to be harder to throw due to the conditions. This is kind of leaning towards major favoritism for Green Bay. And you got weather, you got the limitations on the Rams offense with Goff's injury. And the defense is going to be able to kind of stack the box and kind of key in on the run, especially with the Kupp injury. Aaron Donald's not exactly at full health in terms of the Rams defense. He's going to be playing banged up if he's able to go. Those kind of things do kind of, with Donald being kind of limited and Kupp being limited, those really do take away major parts of this Rams team. And then you look to Green Bay. They're coming off a bye. They're going to be rested. They know who their opponent was. They knew who they had to kind of study, the Rams, or they had to study Tampa. Those were the 2 options. So they've been kind of keying and getting ready for that, for whoever it is. The Packers seem to be a very good home team. They've gone 26-6 the last 2 regular seasons. I don't know. It's just Green Bay plays well at home. Rodgers plays well at home. The weather does not impact them. They play pretty goddamn well in bad weather. And I heard it's supposed to be cold and snowy, but I'd imagine it's going to be cold. It's January in Green Bay. So there's a major advantage. I think the weather might keep this to a rather low-scoring game. Plus, I think the Rams' defense will keep the Packers kind of grounded and a bit limited. But I do think that we will see the Packers crack it a few times and be able to score. The Rams, I think offensively will just not be able to keep up. That's going to be the big thing. Is Green Bay's defense may not be the best, but I think the Rams have super limitations on offense. I mean, they didn't even really beat the brakes off the Seahawks. What'd they win, like 30-20? Like, in Seattle's defense is like awful. So, and that was I don't know. This just seems like it's a Packers favorite. Just all those things I've listed, and just this game's hinting towards the Packers. I mean, maybe it might be a little bit different if Goff was playing with a fully healthy hand and had Kupp, and Donald was going to be at 100% or at least close to 100%. So right now, I think this is a Packers win. I think Packers go to the NFC Championship game to take on whoever wins between Tampa and the Saints. Again, this is all very opinionated at this point in the season. So don't be too mad if I don't pick your team. Don't be too angry about it. This is all opinions. All right, this is going to be one hell of a game. 8:15, we have the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. This is probably going to be the highlight matchup of the weekend. Probably, yeah. The Ravens are 12-5. Bills are 14-3 with their added-in playoff wins. The Bills are just 2-point favorites with an over-under of 50. So even the odds makers are saying this is going to be a really close, good game. I know, and this has nothing to do with anything about the Bills offensively. Offensively, great unit. Josh Allen, good to great young quarterback. Their offense seems to be very, very well put together. Diggs is amazing. I'm not trying to say anything bad about Josh Allen, so don't think this is because I don't think the Bills can hang offensively, which they can. I think their problem is going to be coming from that rush defense that they have. If they do what they did against the Colts and they allow Baltimore to hang around this game and they don't come out and take a huge early lead or even kind of fall behind early and kind of don't play that well till like later in the game, the Ravens will win this game, and they could actually win it running away. And by running, I mean literally just running it away. Like they could get a small lead and they could just keep scoring and keep score by running down the clock and keeping Buffalo on, having to play perfect mistake-free football, which is pretty hard to do this time of year playing against these great defenses. And Baltimore does have a great defense. Now, and I think the Bills will be able to keep pace, but I have this sneaky suspicion in this game that the Bills' rush defense is finally going to fail them. I think they're giving up 122.8 to 123.8. It's one of those two. It's in between those two numbers, but they're giving up a lot of rush yards per game. Now they're playing a team that can run the ball tremendously in Baltimore. Running quarterback, good running system, a running-based offense, and that could be a problem for Buffalo. And I think it will be. I genuinely believe in the playoffs, if you can run the ball and you have a good defense like Baltimore does, you can really do some damages to some teams, and they can kind of throw it, because Buffalo is going to end up having to sell out and try to stop it here. And you have to wonder, Baltimore, if they can get it to Andrews or if they can get it to Hollywood, that could become a big problem too, because they're kind of selling out to stop the run, kind of putting this extra spy on. So you kind of run into all of these issues when you're the Bills. Now, will the Bills be able to put up points? Oh yeah, they will be. Will they be able to hang? Oh, 100%. I have major questions about their defense, especially the fact that and I also wonder, like, with how limited the Colts were on offense and how just off the Colts seemed on offense, the Bills could have won that game by several touchdowns. And also to Indy. Indy could have put them away early in that game to a point of like no return. Just missed opportunity after missed opportunity by Indy. Like, if they were getting Buffalo to punt the ball away and give the ball back, that should have been touchdowns by the Colts, because they'd get downfield, then stall at about like midfield or the 40 and have to punt it away on a short field. That was a big reason why Indy wasn't able to win. They just couldn't, finish the drive out. And I think that's more of a Phillip Rivers issue than anything. Limited offense of the Colts, super. So if Baltimore can kind of replicate what Indy did on defense and have a little bit more competent of an offense, which they do, I'm going to have to go with the Ravens in this one. Allen's going to play great. I suspect the Bills play a great game, but this is the playoffs, and I actually do think this could be an overtime type game on a game-winning field goal. Whoever does win this wins on it's coming off the foot of Bass or Bass, however you say it. I think it's Bass. It's coming off the foot of Bass or it's coming off the foot of Tucker. I'm going to take the Ravens in a very close smash mouth football game. Could be one of the best playoff games we've seen in a very long time. Give me the Ravens in a absolute stunning kind of finish. Walk-off field goal late or overtime. Let's go on to Sunday. Again, don't get too mad about the picks. These are just picks I'm making. These is just my opinion. Again, I could be wrong. It's not because I hate Buffalo or anything like that, okay? I don't hate the teams I'm picking against, by the way. I picked the Packers, and I despise them, and I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I do not like this team one bit. So it's nothing personal against these teams. I don't even like the Ravens. Like, you know what I mean? I actually somewhat like the Browns. I don't like them. They're not a team I root for, but I actually don't hate them. So it sucks picking against teams I'd prefer to win. Like, if I could go back real quick, I'd prefer the Rams. I would like the Ravens to win that game because I picked them to be in the Super Bowl. So there's a bit of also that going on. My preseason pick was the Ravens and the Saints. I want to feel big brains, so, you know. But I would like to pick the Rams in that game, but I can't. And I want to pick the Browns here. But again, I can't. 3:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Browns taking on the Chiefs, the unsuspecting team. That line is goddamn disrespectful, and there's no way the Chiefs win by 10 points. There is no way. I don't know how that line is at Chiefs minus 10 with an over. The over-under is correct. I think 56 is a good number. But minus 10 seems just downright disrespectful to the Browns. I get it, but they did just kind of thrash a team that they've never beaten in the regular season during the Big Ben era in Pittsburgh. So maybe it's a different Cleveland. Maybe we should pay a little bit more respect to the Browns here than a 10-point underdogs. That's ridiculous. And I do think I think people are ignoring that the Chiefs had like the 22nd ranked rush defense. And one of the things the Browns do particularly well is run the ball with their two-headed monster known as the Hunt Chubb or the Chubb Hunt. However you want to combine the names, the Kareem. Nick's not a good name. Like, Nick Chubb has a great last name, but the first name is so goddamn, you just can't make funny names out of it. Chubb is great. Nick. Okay, Nicholas. All right, Nicholas, you bum. Anyway, my major issue here is I don't really like the Browns secondary in this game, right? And this game very well has shootout written all over it, right? The Browns did give up. I know it was garbage time, but 500 yards of offense is still 500 yards of offense. That's something you have to look at. And the Chiefs will be able to put yards up. They're probably going to be able to score pretty, they're going to be able to score on the Browns. But on the flip side, the Browns probably will be able to put points up against the Chiefs. It's not like the Chiefs have this impenetrable defensive fortitude that has never been put points on. No, they give up points pretty goddamn easily, especially when they play competent offenses. Yeah, they looked better this year, the Chiefs did, against the Jets and the Broncos and the Chargers before before Herbert had his legs under him. Yeah, that was a really good job by Kansas City's amazing defense. But again, it's not that good. All right, that's their Achilles heel, is that defense, especially teams that seem to be able to run the ball like the Browns can. And that's the thing I think that keeps Cleveland in it. They'll be able to put points up. Baker is a very competent playoff quarterback. I think we all just seen that. He looked really good in his first playoff start. So yeah, I think this game is going to be very, very close. I think it's actually going to be a mini shootout or a shootout. I consider if both teams hit 30 a shootout. I think there's going to be a shootout. I think that when you have to look at the things, and the way I always break these things down is if it turns into a shootout, what team do I trust more? You have to look at the Browns. They're a younger team with less playoff experience, and we don't know how they're going to react in a shootout, in a playoff game. That's a big stage, big moment. On the flip side, we know exactly how Mahomes can play in the playoffs in a big game, in a close big game. He'll win. We've seen it. We've seen it all last year. We've seen it multiple times last year in 3 comeback wins. So I will give the Chiefs their due credit. Mahomes doesn't falter in big games late with a close score. That will not be a mistake. We'll see. I have no idea how Baker reacts in the playoffs to these big game, late, high scoring, big games. with a lot riding on it. We just don't know how Baker's going to react. And because of that, I have to go with, I'm going to lead slight Kansas City as the favorite. Because I think, again, both defenses are going to give up points. I have to look at the quarterbacks, and Patrick's resume speaks for itself. As fair as I can say, the resume speaks for itself for the Chiefs. They've proved they can win these kind of games, and that's what this is going to turn into. That -10 is a load of shit. All right, let's go on to the game that everybody's going to call me a Brady homer, and I really don't give a shit. All right, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard. Tampa Bay takes on these pesky New Orleans Saints. 12-5, the Brady Bucks take on, the cheaters, the choke artist New Orleans Saints, the team that always blows it. Saints -3 over under 51.5. I know it's usually to Minnesota that this happens, or the Rams. But hey, New Orleans fans, I'm not even going to give you real analysis of this game because I'm going to tell you how this game finishes. I'm going to just say how I think this game is going to go, and if I'm right, then I get $1 million, I think. All right. Saints are going to be leading most of the game, right? Most of the game. We're going to see Tampa start this mini comeback, and, it's going to seem like it comes up short because, they're going to have to throw a Hail Mary to, whatever. It's a miracle throw, right? This is the end of the game. So Brady chucks back, tries to hit AB at the back of the end zone, or Gronk, one of the two. And what happens? Some light questionable contact will happen in the end zone. And they're going to fucking flag the ever-living shit out of the goddamn New Orleans Saints. And that'll put the ball at the 1-yard line. Now, it'll be 1st and goal at the 1. There'll be no time on the clock. They have to let this play happen, right? The score will be like 24-20. Or even 21-20, right? And, 20-20, 24-20, or some kind of crazy outcome like that, right? I didn't put the right score. I meant to put 26-24. I apologize. And what's going to happen is they're going to fail from the 1, but there's going to be a flag on the Saints again, and Tampa's going to get to retry again. Now, they're going to try the same play, Tampa, but there's going to be another flag on the play, putting it at like the inch mark, and then Brady just falls forward and scores the game-winning touchdown. I promise you, I guarantee there's going to be some fuckery like that that's going to happen. It may not be the exact thing. It may not be 3 flags that end the game. I guarantee you there will be a play in this game late that gives the Bucks the lead, and all kinds of hell is going to break loose. By the way, we're not going to see a repeat of that second time these two teams met up. I don't see the Bucks Brady specifically taking that L the third time. Since that game, the Bucks have fundamentally shifted their offense to fit around the way Brady plays. If you haven't believed me, go watch the way they've been playing the last 4 or 5 weeks. Since the halftime game against the Chiefs, the Bucks switched their offense to what Brady wants to do. So that's a whole different team, a whole different situation, whole different case. The Saints did not look that great against the Bears. And if they show up looking like that against the Bucks, they can probably, they won't even need a questionable call. The Bucks can score. The Bucks are a different team in the playoffs. It's a different thing with Brady leading this team. And we've seen how effective the Washington pass rush defense did to Brady. It did nothing. Didn't even make him flinch. And the Saints, I don't think they're as good as the Washington is at getting to the quarterback. Gronk isn't going out for passes. They've got other guys. Gronk's an extra blocker. I think that fixes a lot of problems. Give me the Bucks over the Saints on some fuckery, or a straight up win if the Saints show up looking like they did against the Bears. So those are my picks, guys. I hope you enjoyed them. My overall pick'em record, 165-90. Not bad at all. But yeah, so let's hurry up and start to wrap this up because it's getting long. I went long because I wanted to give kind of like my train of thought for the picks. It's fine. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you watched it all. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, both those things help grow the channel. Leave your thoughts, of course. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, as I always do. It's been a fun year so far. We're doing great on picks. We did one game better than last year, and it seems like that's the new trend. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, these are all very much just my opinions and just what I feel about the games. Don't get your feelings too hurt because I didn't pick your Bills or your fucking whatever team to win. I know what fan base is gonna give me shit. It's gonna be Buffalo. It's always Buffalo. They can't take when you slightly criticize their team. That's why I had to be so nice about the offense. They're really good on offense, but the defense is so bad. But not Super Bowl winning defense, dog. It's not.